Hey guys, how's it going? It's Bethany. For this week's video, I'm going to talk you through the story of how I broke my wrist. Funnily enough, a few days before I actually fractured this wrist, or about a week actually, I had punched a wall and it was suspected from a few people that I could have had a punch fracture or not, but we didn't know. Even if I did, it was only very small. It wasn't really showing on the x-ray, and so it was just a debate. So I was in a splint and that was fine, and that was going to heal really quickly, and to be fair it was. Like, the pain went down after about 4 or 5 days and it was fine. So I was practicing a week later doing gymnastics at my club, and we were training and everything was going fine, and I asked one of the coaches, who is actually now left, if I could do a front somersault because it wasn't going to put any pressure on my hands. I'd done a somersault 1,000 times, like literally. I'd been going for about 2 years and I've been doing gymnastics, well, trampolining since I was 8, so I knew how to do a somersault pretty well. I was doing them on the floor, it was fine. So I was going to do it on the trampette. Now, I was doing them the week before, but I wasn't landing them just because I was trying to be careful, basically, of not landing on this, especially if I didn't really know what was going on. And originally it was that side that was hurting, but now it's this side. Strictly because I decided to do a somersault, and on that somersault I shot off past the mat, stuck the same wrist out, and I ended up landing on it really awkwardly, sort of like that. If I could explain, like, I would reenact it, but I don't want to break this wrist, so I'm not going to. But yeah, if you just imagine someone over-rotating on a somersault, but not just over-rotating and like, I've over-rotated before, but my legs have gone over, but I literally just shot forward. Instead of going up, I just took all my power, went forward, went past the mats, and used this hand to break my fall. And I actually didn't cry or anything. I have a really high pain threshold. It may not seem like it half the time, but I do. So I got up, I brushed it off, and I thought, ow, that really hurts. That kind of hurts a bit. I was not expecting like something like that to happen at all. And I actually got back up and did a couple more, landed them, even stuck 2 of them, and it was fine. And I was just doing like 4 turnovers for the rest of the night because I didn't want to land them too much just in case it just happens again. And I actually went into the pit and was doing standing back tucks by the end of it in the end, because I was like, oh, if I keep going forward I don't want to land on it again, don't want to risk that. As much of like a nightmare I can be, I didn't want to break anything, even though obviously I'd already broken something and just didn't realise it. So later on I took my splint off that I already had on for the previous injury, and my hand was a bit red, and I thought, oh my god, no, this cannot be happening. And I just left it off for a couple of hours and iced it, even though I probably shouldn't have took my splint off, but I did because I just thought it would be the best thing, let the swelling like come up and everything like that. And it was just a bit red, so I thought nothing really too much of it. Then a couple of hours later it got a little bit more red and bruising started to show, and I was like, oh Jesus, like the bruising was bad enough. I'll try and find a picture of the first injury I did, but the bruising was bad enough for that injury. So this bruising, like how already fast it was like spreading, I did not know what was going to happen until I woke up the following morning and my hand was like a literal potato. So I knew I had to go back to the hospital. I think it was an exact week later. Yeah, I think it wasn't exactly a week later because it was the Tuesday or the Monday I went before, and it was the Tuesday I went after, because I think it was like the 11th or 12th of June. I waited about 4 to 4.5 hours, finally got an x-ray, and their x-rays aren't very good. So they were like, well, because of the swelling, because of the symptoms, clinically it sounds like you have a scaphoid fracture, but we can't actually diagnose it yet. We're just going to go with the fact that we think from symptoms you have a scaphoid fracture. So they booked me into the fracture clinic, which was at a different hospital, and I went there, and the doctor I seen wasn't too helpful. The x-ray again didn't really show much, and it is a very hard fracture to see, and he was like, sometimes like he gave this percentage, like 90% or something like that, out of so many people it still doesn't show up. So we'll see you again in 2 weeks time. So I thought, oh my Jesus, how long do I have to wear this splint for? Because I wanted to get back doing gymnastics and my usual kind of thing. It was hard enough to like put my hair up and stuff like that, and I hated it. But yeah, that was that. And so I went home, and it was like 4 or 5 weeks I was in a splint, and then went back to the fracture clinic. And because I still had pain, they were like, we're not even going to do an x-ray, it's a waste of time doing an x-ray, we're going to have to give you an MRI. So this would be my 3rd MRI in I think 2 years, and my 2nd one in 8 months. So I'm just glad that I have an MRI compatible pacemaker in, because otherwise we would have to like have another problem solved, and I don't need that, I have enough. So yeah, ended up in a plaster cast, which I'll put a picture up now actually, because I decorated it, and I tried to decorate this one, which is why it's a totally different colour. You wouldn't see this on the NHS because I painted this one. It was originally like the same colour as my top, then I got bored of it being the same colour as my top. Then I messed it up because I tried to draw on it, but you can't really draw on this material in pencil like you could with the plaster of Paris cast, and so it all went wrong, and I bought some paint and I ended up just painting it. And I actually prefer this colour than the purple, although some bits actually need to be repainted, so I'm going to do that later. But yeah, anyway, back to the story. So yeah, I now ended up in a cast, and I was in the plaster of Paris cast like for just under 2 weeks, and then I went to have my MRI 2 weeks ago now, or 3 weeks, depending on when I upload this. I don't really know when I plan on uploading this, whether it's this Monday, next Monday, I don't know. But yeah, so I went to have my MRI after 2 weeks of being in the cast and thought, right, I'm gonna get this off. But no, then I had to go back and have fiberglass cast on, and I got away with having it up to my elbow, which was great, but I was hoping to like not have any cast. And I was in a purple cast, and I was on holiday at the time as well. Luckily we had like this waterproof cover that I bought, and you know, it would have been a waste of time if I was just going to use it for like just a shower, like the odd shower or whatever, but I wanted to go swimming and stuff, and I go swimming every weekend, so I bought it, and it's actually had its money's worth already in just like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So then I was waiting for my MRI results, and I was thinking a week had gone by, and I was like, okay, they're gonna come back and they're gonna be clear, because the last 2 MRI results that I had for like my head and my back that I've had previously were clear. It's gonna be like 3 is like a lucky number, right? It's gonna come back clear. All the other ones have, and it's just going to be like a mystery. Like half my other medical problems that propped up in the years, it's just going to be a mystery. I had the results today. Today is Saturday. Don't ask me what the actual date is. August something, like the 11th I think, or the 12th, something like that. I'm now not going to be able to have this off until the 12th of September, and I'm supposed to be on holiday again that week, so that sucks. So yeah, I have a scaphoid fracture, one of the fractures that take the longest to heal apparently. So maybe if I did just have like the punch fracture or something like that, it would have been done and sorted by now, but no. So I'm hoping that when I go back on the 12th of September, this thing is off and everything is fine. I'm hoping that I don't even need physiotherapy. Like, I just want to go back to doing handstands and headstands and all that cool stuff that I love to do and just mess around doing, because anyone who knows me knows I love being upside down. So yeah, that is the story of how I broke my wrist. Okay guys, if you like this video, make sure you leave a comment down below telling me if you've ever broken your wrist or any other bone in your body, or are in or just coming out of a cast, anything along those lines. Make sure you leave a like if you like this video and subscribe for more weekly videos, and I'll see you all next Monday. Bye!